Okay, Jasmine. So my question is, when you are you currently using the Gusto with the 4 day payment, or
Yes.
how does that work on the holidays?
Oh, shoot. It's a good question. I want to say it doesn't include the holidays. So it only counts 4 business days.
So are you paying the cleaners late, or how does that work if they work on that Saturday? Because you cannot run payroll on that Monday. They won't get paid until the following week.
What day was on a Monday? Was it
Like for instance, like this Christmas was on a Sunday, but a lot of banks were closed on that Monday. So Gusta, right.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Would that be a Gusto question?
That would be a Gusto question.
Do they have like a chat?
Yes.
Oh,
now, Gusto does not have a service chat, but what I do on Gusto, I log out of Gusto and I act like I'm trying to like get a Gusto service, and they have a sales service, and I ask them and they normally answer my questions for me.
Yeah, when we reach out, they pretty much said it's 4 business days. So payroll will be delayed unless you have another option.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess it would be, I mean, I'm trying to think, because like I'm trying to think if there was a day.
Because we will have to run payroll on Friday in order for the cleaner to get paid. Like for instance, for New Year's.
Right.
The cleaner is getting paid on Friday only because we actually ran payroll on Friday of last week.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So they would have to process
Saturday.
it early. And that now, thank you so much for saying that, because now it's actually chiming in, because Gusto has like that calendar, right, where it lets you know last day to process payroll to get paid on Friday. Do you see that on your back end?
Yeah. Sort of. I reached out to them and I went through the whole process with them. That's how we figured we had to run payroll on Friday in order for them to get paid.
Okay.
The following Friday because of the holiday.
Right. So I think that's what I remember seeing, is like we would get a reminder and letting us know like, hey, this is the last day to run payroll in order for cleaners to get paid on Friday. So with the 4 business days. Now they do have the option where you can do the next day, or the two business days, but we just always process payroll on Monday. So I feel like it wasn't a need to change to pay more for that feature.
So like for instance, for the holidays that just passed, are you guys still processing payroll on Monday and are they getting paid on Friday? Because that's the same plan that we have, and one of the payroll was delayed because of that reason. So
I think like what Tawana just said, like she processed payroll, like the only way that they actually got paid was because she processed payroll on Friday.
On Friday. Because the one that we processed on, I want to say Sunday night, that was on Christmas, they didn't get paid until actually today, the 3rd.
The payroll you processed on Christmas? Oh, wow. Oh, because Christmas
was on a Sunday, and then Monday, and then New Year's was on a Sunday, and then everything else was closed on that Monday.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you had the 4 business day one? Okay. Okay. So yeah, so it had to be on a because she said, Tawana, is she still on here? I think she said she processed it on that Monday, or on that Friday prior.
Friday.
So it would have been what, the 23rd was that Friday?
So let me look at that calendar.
So this is Eric, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we pay every week. We pay our cleaners every week. We had to submit the payroll the Friday before the record or the observed Monday, which was the holiday for both Christmas and New Year's. So we had to run it a day early. The deadline is normally on Mondays for pay that same week on Friday, but because the window was short by Monday being a recognized holiday, you had to submit it the Friday prior. And that gives you the 4 days, because they count that Friday that you submit as one of the 4 days. And then Tuesday is counted, Wednesday, Thursday is that 4th day. Then the deposits go out on that next Friday. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what we had to do. But the issue comes in if that person worked on that Saturday.
Yes, you have to front that money. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So you got to have that money already in the bank.
It's not even that. It's if they haven't worked yet, and like said, the cleaning is canceled or something. I don't want to pay them for something that's not done.
Yeah, that's a risk. Right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Yeah, and if let's say this, here's a backup, and I don't want to take over the
No, you're fine.
Q&A. But as a backup, what we have done for all of our customers, we say if you cancel your in our cancellation policy, if you cancel before 48 hours or within a 48-hour time frame, then we're going to charge you 50% of your cleaning. And if that happens, of course, we charge that card 50% of the cleaning, and then we just forward the money collected to the cleaner. Yeah. So that will help you mitigate any issues over a holiday that on a Friday, the customer cancels their Saturday service and Monday is the holiday. Does that make sense?
Yeah, gotcha.
I mean, it's a lot of steps to it, and you know what, honestly, I doubt if anybody would do that. I mean, but you know, anything is possible. But that's how we kind of mitigate that possibility.
So Eric, you pay every week. So do you do the following week, or they get paid for the week of?
Yeah, so we do the following week. Okay. So like for instance, what we had a cleaning yesterday and today, and so these 2 days will be on their deposit next Friday.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But you know what, y'all? What I find troublesome is if you're open or if you're working on, let's say, a Saturday. What if you got like two big clients, and that money is going to take so the bank is closed, so Stripe is not going to process that deposit until probably like Wednesday, right? Of the next week. 2 days later, your direct deposit is going to hit for your cleaners. Well, the problem is when you submit that deadline payroll submission on Monday, it's taking out that money on Monday. So you got to have, some reserves to float that payroll, because it's coming out on Monday, which is the deadline. I think it's like 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But your cleaning client won't, the money on Saturday won't hit until Wednesday. And let's say you got like a daggone, like we had a post-construction. We had 2 post-constructions happen on a Saturday. Both of them were $1,500. So that's $3,000 you have to front, until it's just 2 days, but still, I mean, it's kind of challenging. You just got to be aware of those nuances.
Yeah. That's a nice post-construction cleanup price.
You know what, y'all? Jazz, look, I'm mad because me and my wife, we were like, we did market analysis, right? And, we shortchanged ourselves by about $700 on each.
Gosh.
What?
Yeah, it was $21 and $2,200 for the work that we did.
Wow.
But you know, it's all good. Gotta get us on the
Right.
back end.
You'll get on the back end.
Yeah,
And that's why
yeah.
I stayed away from post-construction, because we underbidded ourselves every single time. Every single time. I mean, God, like I feel like I get like flashback, like I have like postpartum, not postpartum, like PSD, because I'm telling you guys, every single time, like we shortchange ourselves, and then we get so excited about how much we're gonna get for that job. We're like, oh heck yeah! But then you do the job, and like, don't you like start really thinking about the numbers and all the work that's like, oh shoot, I had to underprice this job, and then they be knowing.
Jazz, why was the lady, because it was two houses that she was managing, why was she like happy that we quoted her 1,500 each?
Right.
I'm like, okay, we looked at each other, me and my wife, we looked at each other like, are we missing something here?
Right. She hopped on that real fast. She's like, oh, there's no need to get any more quotes. We just gonna go with this company right here.
Right. Okay, all right, I'm gonna shut up.
Thank you so much for that feedback. We really appreciate it. Okay. Shoot. Is it Folina? I saw you got off and you got back on. You had a question in the chat. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, ma'am. It's Felina.
Oh my goodness. I did it. Okay. Okay, Lev, what's your question?
So first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for, providing such a amazing opportunity.
You're welcome.
For everybody. So I've been in the cleaning business for a little bit now. I started out with commercial, but was working for somebody and the money wasn't making sense. So my husband and I decided to do, we was like, well, if commercial not working, let's try residential. So we tried that. And we started off with thumbtack. And everybody experience for thumbtack is different, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for us, it worked because with thumbtack, you basically have to be on your phone. You have to be like first to answer everything. And I was on it because I was hungry. I was like, I need to make something.
I know, so that's right.
I was replying back, responding. Like the faster you respond, you get put up like first.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of customers and business was going good. I was working at the time and I had to within less than a month, I had to make a quick decision. Do I want to keep working or go full time? So my husband and I decided to go full time. And long story short, we end up with Airbnb. Okay. So when we end up with Airbnb, we let go the residential because it was like, okay, Airbnb is fast money. Residential too is good money. But Airbnb money was crazy fast. So we decided to go with Airbnb to stay with Airbnb. So with Airbnb, we started in November of 2021.
Okay.
And by February of 2022, we had like almost 10 cleaners on our team because we was moving so fast. Yeah. But then I don't know, because the Airbnb market right now, it kind of slowed down. It took a dip. So that kind of affected us. So we still got clients. We still in a good bracket, meaning we was doing like about 20 grand a month. But then we dropped down to like 10 a month. So now we about 7 a month.
Okay.
So I'm like, I want us to go back to the residential. The issue with us is like we in the business, like we doing part of we have cleaners, but we still in it and we're trying to get ourselves out of it.
Okay.
So with my question is on thumbtack, we already on thumbtack, we got good reviews, everything, but it's just this one review. We had a cleaner that went and did I think it was a move-out cleaning. And she did really good, but I think she missed some few spots. And then on top of it, like when she was doing the cleaning, I remember she called me. She said the person, like the
the customer, he wasn't like giving chance. Like he had people in and out of the house. So like when she mopped the floor, like people was back. Yeah. So
Tracking
with
back
that,
on it.
right. So when she left, he went on, he messaged me saying that he need a full refund. And I'm like, of course, I'm not going to give you a full refund because she went there, she worked. So he's like, well, if you're not going to give me a refund, I'm going to write you a bad review. So I said, well, do what you feel is best for you. So he ended up leaving a bad review. And that's like the only bad review we have on Thumbtack. And with being that we trying to go back to residential, I'm like, would that affect us? What can I do with the bad review? How can I handle it? Because when he put it on there, I never really responded because at that time it was just too many things going on with residential and Airbnb. So I never really focused to respond to it.
Yeah. So now, definitely, I mean, that's totally awesome with you guys going full time and then like your success that you have with the Airbnb. And you got on like, right, you said November. So you got on right at a good time during like that heavy holiday season. So you were able to hit up Thanksgiving, you're able to hit up Christmas and New Year's. The only thing with the Airbnb, like specifically for like vacation renters Airbnb, because there's a difference between like Airbnb and then like executive, like short-term rentals, you know what I mean? Like when you're working for like a company and they like have sublease out several apartments for like short-term rentals for executives, is you don't have like the reoccurring. And that's one of the good parts with residential cleaning is that you can get, the goal is to get reoccurring cleaning. So that way you're not just having to work so hard just for one-off. Like my first 2 years in business, that was like I was telling somebody, like, I got money the hard way because even though we had great success those first 2 years, like, of course I didn't know nothing that I was doing, but it was hard because it was one-off. So like we were constantly having to work every single day, super, super hard to get new clients. And like you said, like Thumbtack, it does work. It's your response, your customer service, how you can close. So you'll definitely still be able to get leads with having that bad review. You do want to make sure you respond though. Even though it's late, still respond because people will see your response. Okay. And let them know like, hey, I'm so sorry that you felt that way. Our cleaner did try to do our best. We've tried to provide you with solutions, and whatever that kind of response is, right? You don't want to make it sound like you're blaming them. You want to take some ownership so that way other people can see, but you really just want to make sure that you respond. And then just get more reviews. The thing about Thumbtack is not like Yelp where you can't get outside reviews. Get that review link and have people start leaving you some good reviews so that way it can kind of like overcome that negative. And one negative review is not going to turn you away. Like our Thumbtack account, like our first main one, I think we always set like at a 4-star. So with a 4-star, we had, maybe 20 plus negative reviews. But we always try to make sure we get good reviews. So I would say, try to fill it up with some good reviews because you'll definitely still be able to get new clients. And then this go around so that way you can help bring in some more income while you're waiting for your Airbnb, because Airbnb will boost back up, especially during like spring break. I don't know what area you're in. What area are you in?
I'm in Atlanta. Well, I'm in Georgia in the Duluth area.
Okay. So is that like a heavy vacation place?
Yeah, because we service Atlanta area, and majority of our Airbnb client, actually it was funny how we got started with Airbnb because the company that we signed up with Airbnb, they actually found us on Thumbtack. With our review was being so good and the response time and everything, he actually found us on Thumbtack and wanted to give us a chance to prove ourselves. And when we did, we was handling like about close to like 60 accounts for them.
Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, you'll definitely still be able to get new clients with that negative review. Like don't let it haunt you. And I remember in the beginning, I used to let those people threaten me with like bad reviews. then I'd be
Yeah.
like, man, leave your review, whatever. I don't
That's how I was. And then later
I
I'm
even
like,
know,
shoot.
because they will do that, y'all. They will come for your
Yeah.
neck with them bad reviews. Oh my
Yeah, and want you
God.
to give every penny back. I'm like, how is that fair? Like this person went and clean. You just
Yeah.
like want to get everything
It's
back.
not. Yeah, I
So-
would say respond to that review and try to get some good reviews to cover up, not to cover up, but like to, you know,
yeah,
push that
I'm
one
with
back
you.
down to the bottom.
Okay, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer these last two reviews, and I'm not reviews, I'm thinking about reviews. These last two questions, and then Naomi, do you have your hand raised for another question, love, or is your hand still up?
I did have another question.
Yeah, you're fine, girl.
Oh, yay. So, my question was, when you were saying always be hiring and everything, how often do you think, like, how often would I be doing that for? Like, right now I have a few cleaners, so I'm trying to get on board, but does that mean that I still, like, this week I'm still hiring other people? Or does that mean like I take a week break? Or I'm just trying to figure out like a good rhythm for that.
I think it is based upon two things. It's based upon like your current like client intake, right? And how many cleaners you have. As in like how aggressive you go. Where if you want to make it every week or every other week. I would definitely recommend nothing less than like once a month. But you definitely want to make sure that you have some kind of consistency with always looking for cleaners. So like I said, it just depends on how many clients you have and how many cleaners you have, with like how often you would need to have those practices for your cleaners.
Okay, so like, because I have only like a couple clients right now, but I have more clients than cleaners.
If you have more clients than cleaners, then look for cleaners
Okay.
immediately, because you just never know vacations coming. I mean, like you just never know. Like they're tired, car. I mean, I've heard the most craziest excuses. I don't want to say excuses because some of them, but I just heard the most craziest things. And you know, you just always want to make sure that you're prepared with having a cleaner on deck.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you answering my questions.
Welcome. Of course. Let's see, somebody said, do you have someone to help set up a website? We do the websites for like our done for you service, but for a one-off, I don't think so. If you have like the Wix, if you have like a Wix, we do have a website template video that will show you like how to connect your website to your booking koala. Send me a DM because I don't think I'm answering your question right. But for like a one-off, no, but we do have a video that will show if you have Wix and like booking koala. But like we do have the done for you service as well. Let's see, do you guys charge a little extra for holiday weekends? No, I mean, I probably do the opposite, like give discounts to try to get more cleanings. Do you price the upscale neighborhoods opposed to the neighborhoods that aren't great? How do you price? I mean, I feel like, I don't want to say that I overprice cleaning services based upon the area that we're in, right? I feel like the price points are like the right price points based upon the area, where like if we have to service anywhere else, it's a discount that's being asked, or it's saying, oh, that's too expensive or that's too high, versus like the right, because like when I see some people's price points, like is Nikki still on this call? So we had a client that had a 7,000 square foot house, right? And she wanted a quote, and the quote was already super, super cheap. When I heard how much the quote was, I'm like, oh my God, that's super cheap. But even with the size of that house and that quote that was given, the client was still like, oh, okay, well, let me talk to my husband. I'm like, how much cheaper you gonna get? So I feel like, you know, your right market is not going to question your price points. And I want to say that I overcharge because of it being in a nice area. I just feel like it's the right prices for the service, because I don't never want to take advantage of my clients. But it's the right price for the service. But if I was to take my same prices and put them in a different area of the DFW area, then they're gonna be like, no, that's too expensive, or that's too much. That's not how much, you know, somebody else charges down the street. So that's probably what I would say. Someone you had said set up websites, or maybe she manages them.
It was the I forgot her name. She did the Google training.
Oh, Ginger.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think she said she sets up websites, or she manages them for cleaning companies. I'm not quite sure.
She has a marketing company here in Dallas, so she does all things marketing. So I don't know if websites is her thing. So if she said that, then yes, because I know more specifically, she does set up and manage like your Google ads and your Google platforms and SEO and things like that.
Maybe that's what she meant. And
And then she could do websites too, because I mean, she has a marketing. She also has a cleaning company, but that company is for marketing. So she may do that as well. Okay. Any last questions as we wrap up tonight? I'm going to send out an email tomorrow with our book club schedule information, you guys. So keep a lookout for that. Keep a lookout for that with the dates and how the schedule, like all the reading and things. And then somebody said that, so we are doing, goodness, I just said it in my head, Think and Grow Rich. The PDF version is in Circle. Somebody mentioned that there's a free Audible version on YouTube. And then of course, I'll also include an Amazon link if you want to purchase a physical copy from Amazon, that you can do that as well. Okay. But this has been really, really good. I'll have the replay up on Circle and probably tomorrow morning. Yes.
One last question. Is it possible to think about of a post-construction person to come and train, please?
Girl, I have been looking for a post-construction person for a long time. I have not yet been able to find one, so I'm still looking. But that is definitely one that is on my list. Because I know I'm super particular about trying to find this right person because of my experience, and like what Eric was saying, like it's easy to because post-construction kind of falls under commercial with price points. Like you can't do just a regular pricing of how many bedrooms, square footage. Like you have to take into consideration all the things, especially with that dust. Like that dust is like it's horrible, because you can't, like you really need a shop vac. Like you need the right materials and the right equipment to really be able to do that job easier. I remember my husband brought back to my remembrance, you guys, we did a cleaning in this apartment complex where these young kids took down all of the fire extinguishers. Okay, took down all the fire extinguishers and like went spraying all the hallways of this apartment, right? And this was back in my young, like not knowing what I'm doing days. And we did the job. The job paid well, okay? But like we were thinking, like, you know, like those are like chemicals, right? The stuff, like all that powder. And it took us like almost 2 days to sweep, vacuum, dust, and mop like 5 big giant hallways in these apartment complex buildings. So I want to make sure that I find the right person that can come teach on that topic. So that way we won't be underpricing our services if you guys decide to do post-construction.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry. Before you leave, I have a question too.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
When
you were signing up for Gusto, were you guys using your company, like the business address, or should we be using like our personal stuff?
I would recommend the business, like your business virtual address. I would recommend like you making sure like everything matches the same. So you can use your business virtual address, your business email address when you're setting up your Gusto.
Okay, gotcha.
So Jasmine,
Yes.
when you're just talking about the post construction, that scared me a little bit because I have I'm supposed to be doing a cleanup for like a move in, move out clean.
Mhm.
And she said that they did construction and everything was cleaned. It just needs a wipe down. She made it sound like it wasn't a big deal, but now you're but
I know. I'm sorry,
I
girl. I don't mean to scare you. And the thing about it is that like they don't really be knowing, like, because they could have had a cleaning done, right? But like with dust, like it goes up and you will think that you cleaned it all, but it just falls back down and it falls on everything. So it falls on the walls, on the cabinet. So she's right. She just may need just a wipe down, but it's going to be a wipe down of like every surface because that dust just falls everywhere. So I used to hate when we get called, but oh yeah, we just had a small renovation in the kitchen. I'm like, okay, did they seal it off? Did they put plastic sheets down and seal off the space to where there's no dust in the living room or the dining room? Oh no, we didn't do that. It was just a small, okay, well, it's not because that dust floated through the living room and it floated in, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
and you said back for that?
Say that again.
Oh, and you said you need a shop vac for that to clean
Shop
out?
vac is the best because it just sucks the dust up. Because like I said, if you're sweeping it, like, yes, you're still sweeping a pile, but some of it's still going in the air and eventually it'll just fall down.
Oh, okay.
Right. It's best to, when you're doing post construction, it's best to suck up and then wipe. And even like she said, when you underpriced, depending on the post construction job, you have to go 2 and 3 times. So you have to price right.
Dang, okay. Because I priced it as like a normal standard clean because she kept saying how, oh, it's just a wipe down. You just have to wipe everything down. And I was charging $380 and there's 2 of them. And then she, oh, it's just a wipe down, just a wipe down. I'm like, okay, maybe 245 then if it's just like a standard clean. But now it sounds like it's gonna be, I don't know.
You know, like they don't be like clients, like they don't really know. And I feel like clients, when they always try to over exaggerate of how small a job is, like in the beginning, I went over that thumbtack lead for the opportunity, right? And the lady was like, oh, it's pretty, it's not that bad, it's pretty clean, right? Like that keyword to me letting me know that she doesn't want to pay a lot. So, and then as I read on, she's like, oh, we just need a good vacuum and a good wipe down. We need somebody to come do the windows every other 6 months. I'm like, you know what I mean? And they don't understand like how much cleaning and dust is actually accumulated. So post-construction, sometimes I'll ask them to send me a picture because I'll be able to see like that film of dust. And then like Talita said, like the best way for post-construction is just to suck it up. Like to get a good vacuum cleaner. And a shop vac, the backpack ones work really good because like, especially for like walls and cabinets, I like the kind that has that nozzle with like the little flat thing so you can like go up the walls, you know? Yeah.
So how, like, do I tell the cleaners to get this equipment or like, do they usually have it or?
No, it would, I mean, if you have 1099, it would be a situation to where like they would need to have it, but it makes it really hard to do a post-construction if you don't have the right equipment. And now I don't want to like scare you away from this job because she could have had a post-construction cleanup and she's just maybe want another good final wipe down. And it could just be a wipe down, but you're not going to really know until you get in there. And, but if there's a lot of dust, the best thing is like to suck it up. And then like, if it is just a wipe down, I would definitely say like to use like some of those microfiber, like, you guys don't like those dusting, you know what I'm talking about? Like they would put it on the Swiffer, but it's for dust. I would recommend like going over that first. Or even also what works is dryer sheets. Dryer sheets is like a good thing for dusting as well. And then wiping it down. But yeah.
So what
And
would you
then
suggest?
also one, I'm so sorry, one quick thing is if the cleaners, I would say also when your cleaners arrive, have them take pictures and send you pictures, right? So that way you can look at it. So you can gauge beforehand, because if you do arrive and the job is way more than you anticipated, you can let her know up front. So that way you won't have to worry about paying, like you don't have to worry about the client being upset because the service hasn't done right, and then you don't want to have a bad review. So let's say the cleaners do arrive and they're like, oh my God, there's a lot of dust. Then you can let them know like, hey, ask your cleaners, like, are you guys going to be capable of handling this service? And if you're not, please let me know now, right? And then if they say they are, and the job needs to cost more, and you can ask them like, well, how long do you think this would take you? If there's a dust everywhere, then you can kind of gauge and then let the client know, like, hey, you know, I know that we spoke and you said that it's just a wipe down, but after the cleaners have arrived, it looks like this is going to be more work required based upon the price point that was first quoted you. If you would like us to continue, this would be your price point. If not, I totally understand. But I want to make sure that we can provide you with the best service. And based upon the cleaning that's being done, it doesn't match the quote that was given.
Okay, wow. I'm trying to like write everything that you're saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. The replay will be up tomorrow. But basically, it's like, I always tell the cleaners, like, if you guys ever arrive to a house and it's way more than, you know, what was told to us or what fits the description. Like if you arrive to a house and on the thing it says standard or deep cleaning and you get there and it looks like a tornado went off, like, let us know, like, don't start cleaning and then be like, yo, we just cleaned this house and we need more money because that house was, oh shoot, you didn't tell me. So how am I supposed to know, right? So I always tell like, let us know in advance. Call us at the moment, send us pictures so that way we can contact the client beforehand. And when you're contacting the client, if they agree for whatever price range, I let them know like, okay, awesome. I'm going to send you a text message to confirm. So that way you have that written proof. So you can take a screenshot. So if they ever come back and be like, you charged me more money than was initially agreed. Well, no, we had a conversation. And based on the conversation, you agreed to pay this additional amount of money. So here's your proof. So that way you have it just in case they try to send something back to Stripe.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me see. I think one other question came in while we was talking. Can you suggest any other good virtual address sites besides iPostal? Your other good virtual address sites are going to be like your co-working spaces. So like your Regis, your WeWork, things like that, right? So I just opened up a new location in Virginia Beach, right? And I've only been there a couple of times, but I didn't know where to go. So I just started searching up virtual office spaces. But like I looked through the iPostal, there was another one that's similar. And like all of those locations were basically taking me to like mail spots, you know, like where you can go, not like official post office, but just like a mail spot. So those didn't work, of course. So then I ended up finding just like some random co-working virtual office that we went through, and it was a pretty good deal for like their virtual office setting. So just look in your areas, look for virtual office addresses in X, Y, and Z, and you'll get like a list of them. So like you'll have like your list of like co-working spaces, Regis, WeWorks, Connect. I think Connect may be only be in Texas, but stuff like that. Those, they have options. Of course, your iPostal is going to always be the cheapest, but you know, you're paying for what you get. Who did you end up using? Shoot, I don't even know. Like the building was like Commonwealth something. I don't even know the building. All I know is that like if a bank was to Google the building, it looks like a corporate building. So like I must have an office somewhere up in there versus like it being like a mailbox room or something like that. Is Airbnb still considered residential? I think it depends on who you're working with Airbnb. Like, is it a owner? You know, like because like you have Airbnb, like where people have like big companies that will like sublease 30 units out of an apartment building, right? So I would consider that more commercial because you have a contract of set payment amount that you're receiving from that client, and then they are paying you, right? Where like we've had clients who were like, hey, I happen to have an investment property that's Airbnb. Can you come clean it? So in my mind, that's how I separate them, but I don't know if that's like really accurate, like an actual accurate definition. But in my mind, that's how I separate the two. Like, am I being paid by a company or am I being paid by a client? But then again, I don't know if it really fits commercial because your price point is not the same. And then also like with those companies, they kind of tell you what they're charging. Now you can agree to it or not, but they kind of let you know, like they'll give you a price sheet and they'll be like, this is how much we pay for a 1-1, a 2-2, a 3-3, and you accept it or not. It may be negotiable, but yeah, so I don't really know. I think maybe Airbnb just belongs in its own category. Hope that helps. Okay, you guys, it has been a good night. We've been on for 2 hours, but we had some good questions. Fred, I saw your question and I see you're still on here. I was gonna send you a DM because I thought you came off because you were asking about the virtual assistant company. So I didn't know if you wanted to, I didn't know like what specifically you wanted to know about the virtual assistant company, or if you want me just to send you a DM, let me know. Okay, awesome. So yeah, just send me a DM and we'll chat, okay? All right, you guys, have a good night. Keep a lookout for that book club email. And I will see you guys on next Tuesday. All right, bye y'all.